This is ABC 15 Mornings.
And right now at 6 on ABC 15 Mornings, will Lori Daybell testify in her own defense in her murder conspiracy trial? ABC 15 continues to track everything happening inside the courtroom.
Plus, deportations halted at 6:30. Our team takes a closer look at the latest legal standoff between the U.S. Supreme Court and the White House.
From appliance problems to contractor issues, ABC 15 is doing the work for you. We're highlighting cases that let ABC 15 know volunteers have solved for people across this community.
Breaking overnight, a deadly crash on the Loop 202 Red Mountain, shutting down the eastbound lanes right there at the mini stack. This could impact you this morning. Our newsroom just getting some new information from DPS telling us someone driving an SUV went into the Gore area, hitting a guardrail. A woman who was a passenger in that vehicle died, we've learned, at the hospital. The driver, we're told, has minor injuries, and investigators are telling us they do believe he was impaired. That closure is expected to be in place through the morning rush. And on that note, Megan, you have been tracking this crash for longer than, 90 minutes now. These backups, they continue to grow in and around the downtown area.
Yeah, and of course, it impacted the two of you as you were trying to get here into the ABC 15 studios. And then those are the folks, of course, in those early overnight hours, let alone all those folks who are getting out the door here at that 7 o'clock hour. We do anticipate this closure to remain in place. Right behind me here in our cameras, we're seeing that closure remaining here in the 202 eastbound direction, right near 32nd Street. But that backup is really stretching all around this area, around the mini stack interchange, around the stack, because they've also closed off your ramps, your access as you're making your way from the 51, from the 10. Those are all blocked off because of that investigation going on right now. Let's take it to your maps and show you really that slowing building along the 51. Your speeds in that southbound direction, they're below 10 miles per hour. Your speeds on the 10 as you're approaching that mini stack interchange, right around 10 miles per hour through this area. Let's look at that drive time along the Durango curve. That from the stack over to the split is 18 minutes. Your average speed there is just 20 miles per hour, and that's one of the alternates to make your way through this area. So it's going to be slow regardless, but at least you're moving. You could also work your way from that mini stack interchange just south there along the 10 towards the split, and then along the Broadway curve hitting the 143 to get back to the 202 here this morning. So it's quite a mess. I'll keep watching it for you. We'll update your desert drive times in these areas and continue to watch those detours next still ahead.
We appreciate you following up this morning, Megan. 6:02. As we take a live look at the Vatican this morning and track the global reaction on the death of Pope Francis overnight.
And Vatican Camerlengo Cardinal Kevin Farrell making that announcement while you were sleeping. The Pope was 88 years old.
Pope Francis ascending to the top of the Catholic Church back in 2013, a time of contention and scandal for the church. Experts say many church leaders were ready for reform. Scripps News Group's Amber Strong explores his efforts to do just that.
Pope Francis once said that openness towards God makes us open toward the marginalized. He spent much of his time in the papacy trying to create space for others. Before earning the moniker the People's Pope, Pope Francis was born in 1936 as Jorge Mario Bergoglio, the Argentine-born son of Italian immigrants. As a youth, he worked as a bar bouncer at a nightclub and considered a career in chemistry before entering Jesuit school in 1958. There, he rose through the ranks, becoming a priest, Archbishop of Buenos Aires, and finally a cardinal in 2001. He took his place in the papacy in 2013 as the first Latin American and first Jesuit pope. His namesake was after St. Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of the poor, a name he worked to live up to, paying his own hotel bills and urging people not to travel to Rome to celebrate his rise to pope, but to give that money instead to the poor. Much of his teachings were focused on the impoverished, denouncing certain tenets of capitalism in early writings, remarking, "How can it be that it is not a news item when an elderly homeless person dies of exposure, but it is news when the stock market loses 2 points?" He also worked to bring attention to the environment in his writings, calling the planet our common home and seeking to reconcile the call of the faithful to stewardship of the earth. But he struggled to deal with a church marred by financial scandal and global allegations of sex abuse and cover-ups. In 2018, he took a small step in reconciliation, apologizing to abuse survivors after defending a Chilean bishop accused of turning a blind eye to abuse. The next year, Pope Francis formally defrocked Cardinal Theodore McCarrick, who was accused of abusing men and children for decades. And he helped establish a handbook that encouraged clergy members to report sexual abuse allegations to legal authorities. He also addressed other areas of contention, including the role of women in the church, placing women in more senior roles at the Vatican, and apologizing to Indigenous people in Canada who'd been abused by Catholic-run schools. Perhaps his most celebrated and scrutinized actions surrounded his views on LGBTQ people and same-sex marriage. He made headlines in 2016 after saying the church should apologize to the person who is gay whom it has offended, and encouraging parents to welcome their LGBTQ children. In 2023, the Vatican stated that transgender people could be baptized under certain circumstances, a shift in previous positions. His inclusive stances and focus on issues of social justice often put him at odds with more conservative members of the church. In 2023, Bishop Joseph Strickland, a conservative and frequent critic of the Pope, was relieved of duty following an investigation. Francis didn't shy away from international political conflicts, placing himself at the center of Russia's war with Ukraine, allowing a Ukrainian and Russian woman to participate together in Easter services, and repeatedly calling for an end to the violence. He also met with Israeli and Palestinian families impacted by the war, praying for both sides and calling the conflict terrorism, a comment that stirred controversy in Israel. Later in his papacy, he was frequently hospitalized and suffered from nerve pain, mobility issues, and respiratory illnesses. Francis hinted at stepping down in 2022, saying the door was open to a resignation, and, quote, "It's not strange, it's not a catastrophe. You can change the Pope." Amber Strong, Scripps News.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Jamie Warren, live outside of St. Mary's Basilica here in downtown Phoenix, as locals here in the valley are now mourning the loss of Pope Francis. And this morning, as we're standing outside, I'm seeing some balloons hanging, likely from an Easter celebration yesterday. But we know now in the hours to come, likely we will be seeing decorations here for a different reason as those mourn his loss. And just about 20 minutes ago, we are now hearing from Bishop John Dolan of the diocese here in Phoenix. He provided ABC 15 this statement that reads in part that Pope Francis was a man who listened, truly listened, not only to the faithful within the church, but to people of all faiths and goodwill. He reminded us that even those without faith in God could offer their kind thoughts, and he humbly welcomed them. Now, aside from mourning, you may be wondering what happens next and how a new pope will be selected. I was looking through that process this morning, and I can tell you it is a very detailed process rooted, I should say, in tradition. Pope Francis's body will be displayed at St. Peter's Basilica, where thousands are lining up now to view it as we speak, to pay their respects. And then cardinals will be gathering to start the process of electing a new pope. I will be telling you just how long that process could take in our next half hour. In the meantime, we know that there is such a huge Catholic population here in Phoenix. Many of you probably wondering what will be happening here locally to help mourn his loss. We are reaching out to the Catholic diocese again to get more details on that, and we will be bringing those details to you as they become available. In the meantime, Kaylee and Nick, I did want to mention one more thing. In Bishop Dolan's statement to us this morning, he talked a lot about Pope Francis's work with migrants and refugees and those who are displaced. That was actually something that I saw firsthand back in 2016. I was working in El Paso, and Pope Francis made a trip to Ciudad Juarez, which at the time was an historic trip. And I know that his work across the border, and us being a borderland here in Arizona, is something that we didn't often see from others. So I know many more stories like that to come out in the days and the hours to come. But I'll send things back to you.
I remember that vividly too. I was working in Texas at the time, Jamie. It's such a vivid memory. Should let you know too, because I've done a lot of stories here locally with the Catholic Church. Phoenix actually has the fastest growing Catholic population in the country with the diocese. So we're going to continue to follow this very closely, and we appreciate your live report, Jamie. Thank you.
Coming up at 6:15, our Joe St. George from Scripps News Group live in Washington this morning, tracking reaction from around the world and what we can expect in the coming days.
A family tragedy is not a crime.
Lori and Alex knew exactly when this murder would happen and where it would happen.
And the other big story we are tracking today, closing arguments expected to begin in Lori Daybell's first Arizona trial. The so-called doomsday mom accused of conspiring to kill her fourth husband with the help of her brother. Daybell has been representing herself in court this whole time. ABC 15's Ashley Holden has also been in the courtroom for every moment. Daybell told the judge that she plans to rest her defense today without testifying. We spoke with Rachel Smith, who helped prosecute the case in Idaho, about what we could maybe expect.
She's going to stick by what she said in opening, which is this is a tragedy. She's going to allude to the fact that she didn't plan for Charles to die, that Alex was acting in self-defense. And even if Alex was wrong in what he did, she certainly didn't participate in the planning.
After each side delivers its closing arguments here, jury deliberations could begin later today as well. I want to remind you, we'll be streaming this as well to abc15.com and also our streaming apps as well. I'll be live outside the courthouse. ABC 15's Ashley Holden will be inside. Count on us for team coverage live at 11 o'clock.
It is now 6:10, and we are tracking a storm east of Arizona. Our forecast looking tranquil here in State 48, but a line of strong storms from Texas all the way to the Great Lakes, but producing mischief there. But as we head here in Arizona, quiet as can be with just some passing high clouds. But our forecast looking fantastic on this Monday morning with temperatures up in northern Arizona, below freezing there in Flagstaff for you folks in the high country. Same for Heber, Shiloh now 36 with 40s there in Graham County, and in the valley temperatures in the mid 60s. And your hiking planner looking good to go for the rest of the morning with temperatures in the 70s through 10, 80s at noon, and the 90s by the afternoon. We'll talk more about the heat that'll stick around for a while coming up in your Valley Planner Plus.
Well, time right now is 6:11. I'm Megan Thompson, staying on top of a traffic alert out there on those roadways. We're going to show you that view right now as we move you over from that desk to show you the 202. This is the eastbound direction of the Red Mountain Freeway near about 24th Street. So right near that mini stack interchange, we have it closed off because of a deadly crash investigation. We're going to talk about the detours in that area coming up.
And next here on ABC 15 Mornings as well, from flight paths to strike times, we're breaking down the latest details on the allegations against Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and the sharing of sensitive information.
And later, the amount you're paying for that monthly water bill keeps going up, but our Smart Shopper team finding a way for some customers to get money back. We are breaking down how it all works.